Welcome back. Under the title Best Places to Go for Fall, a dozen cool spots around the world, the famous US website, the CNN Traveler, published a report in which it listed Egypt among the best top 12 tourist destinations to travel and visit around the world in the fall of 2022. We're very delighted to be having with us Dr. Yehya Abdul, the tourism expert, over the phone. Good morning, Dr. Yehya.
Good morning, Ms. Dina. How are you?
How are you doing, sir? A beautiful day to you. Of course, if you'd like to tell us more about the importance of the choice of Egypt as one of the best tourist destinations.
Well, really, we are lucky because CNN travel site is a global digital promotion platform for tourism worldwide. Egypt has been selected among the top 12 tourist destinations globally due to its heritage, attractions, location, and facilities. Just last week, President Abdul jointly with Arab kings and presidents, they celebrating the grand opening of Alamein Luxury Resort that links Egypt directly to Mediterranean travel. So this is excellent and good news for Egyptian tourism.
Right. How can we benefit from the choice of the CNN Travel US website in attracting more visitors, more tourists, promoting our destinations worldwide?
Well, really, as I already mentioned, this is one of the top, travel sites, digitally to promote travel worldwide. So it has an excellent coverage of networks. Globally, it is going to be estimated like a billion, we'll be watching this. And we are lucky because we've been chosen, due to many attractions that we have in Egypt, like the fair weather, the climate, the locations. We have a diversity of attractions and heritage nationwide, all the way from Abu Simbel to Aswan to Luxor to Upper Egypt to Fayoum Oasis, to Siwa, and then the Red Sea resorts and the Mediterranean, plus, our unique museums and collections. So Egypt is in the memory and the minds of world travelers worldwide. They love to come and visit it, and maybe more than one.
Right. Of course, as we all know that there is a variety when it comes to Egypt's geographic position in the Middle East and in the Arab region. So it has many different types of destinations when it comes to places that you like to visit and spending vacations at. How can we invest on this?
Well, we're really fortunately, our geographical location and strategic location. Remember, back in the 50s and 60s, airlines, moving from west to east. The other way around, you have to stop over in Cairo, for, fueling and all this. So that's why many resorts in Egypt and hotel facilities been developed for that respect, and businesses worldwide. So Egypt has been at the heart of world communications, north to south and east to west, and vice versa. Plus, the diversity of our geography, our location, our great River Nile, the Red Sea, and the Mediterranean. So we have lots of attractions that really we can receive visitors, year-round. Other destinations will be too hot, too cold, but our fair weather and unique location is among, the great assets that Egypt enjoys and world visitors would like to come and enjoy.
Right. Recently, an Italian newspaper called for visiting Marsa Alam, the Avaro Italiano. They said that Egypt is one of the most favorite countries for Italians, particularly in the city of Marsa Alam, which the newspaper described as a paradise and a haven for visitors to see. It's only 4 hours from Italy to Egypt, and they have been talking and they elaborated on the beauty of Marsa Alam as one of the best charming spots and destinations to be visited.
I mean, you are absolutely right, because it has unique, beaches, resorts. So, visitors will enjoy, the aquatics. They enjoy, some of them will go to adventure tours and stretch over the Red Sea mountain trails, and then Samra and other, Egyptians were marked last year by becoming, doing these tours that all world media was highlighting and mentioning. I mean, to the south of it, we have Halab and Shalatil, and this is one of the beautiful and exotic resorts worldwide that many expeditions like to go visit and camp there and enjoy.
Right. Recently, the renovation of the process of the Hall of Columns in the Karnak Temple was resumed. So how important is it, for be able to promote for visiting Al-Karnak Temple? And could you please shed more light on those renovations and the importance of renovating Al-Karnak Temple and also maintaining it the right way?
Well, really, we have to preserve, and restore, our heritage, especially, the sanctuary of Karnak. It's one of the greatest, sanctuary for religious and ritual and spiritual purpose, stretching over 4,000 years. So throughout the 30 dynasties of the kings and queens of ancient Egypt, they were extensively, adding to Al-Karnak and, extending it. Each monarch and each pharaoh and each queen will add, to its glory and luster and its role in the Egyptian, dynasties. So throughout time, there was sometimes earthquakes, flood, shortage, whatever. So from time to time, even in ancient time, Greco-Roman, in modern time, 17th, 18th century up to now, authorities, and governments ruling Egypt, they were dedicating funds to upgrade, restore, and make sure the antiquities is well preserved. So that's why we have to do the colonnades, of Karnak Temple, and preserve it for future generations and work hard to make it hospitable for visitors whenever they come to visit Luxor and Valley of the Kings.
Right. Also, as we all know, St. Catherine also is one of the totally different destinations, a spiritual destination, and it has its own type of tourists from inside Egypt, outside Egypt, the Arab world, and also Europeans. Talk to us about the importance of such a destination in Egypt and promoting for St. Catherine as a spiritual destination to be able to meditate, visit the mountains and stay in St. Catherine, and the environment there, it's beautiful throughout the year.
Well, you are quite correct, because the President Sisi 2 years ago, he gave directions, and now we have to upgrade, and develop the Mount Sinai and St. Catherine Monastery area over there. So we have seen the development that's been taking place within the past year and this current year, adding, more to the lodging capacity, making, receiving places for visitors. They come travel worldwide. The airport has been back, in business. And we remember even a long time ago, President Sadat, he had a project of developing and building a mosque and church and a mausoleum and a synagogue in that area, and that was, a global project. So really, it is very dear to all, monotheistic, religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And visitors worldwide, they love to come, to visit the monastery, to climb, up to the top of Mount Sinai, and check on the library of the monastery. It's a unique one, and it has manuscripts that stretch over thousands of years.
The Nile cruise is also is one of the main characteristics of Egypt, even in advertising. Outside Egypt, and even CNN have advertised for visiting Egypt. The first scene that you see when we talk about Egypt is Nile cruises in the Nile. Promoting for Nile cruises to tour Egypt sites, different sites all over the stops over the Nile, up from Delta to Aswan. If you like to assess this particular experience, especially that it's one of the very important characteristics of tourism in Egypt.
Well, you're absolutely right, because, these cruises were so romantic, were so classic, And, like even like writers, like coming to Egypt since, like Greco-Roman time, they would like make this, even the mention that Cleopatra, like she invited, like Caesar and Antony to make cruises, like from Memphis, from Alexandria, all the way up to, like Crete, which is old Luxor. So really, this has been so romantic in the memory of the whole world, and many Westerns, like they love to come to Egypt, especially in the winter and the fall season, and they go on steamers, like that was in the Thomas Cook 17th and 18th century and 19th century, and then we moved into some of them. They love to take feluccas, so beautiful and so romantic, and they can spend like 15 days. This is the long cruise, and then the medium one will be like 6 nights, 7 days, and now the shorter cruise is like 4 nights, 5 days. So it's so colorful. And remember, in the Lake Nasser, like next to the Abu Simbel Temple, we have now 2 or 3 cruise international lines that attract many visitors worldwide.
Also, we cannot we cannot talk about tourism without mentioning Aswan and Luxor. 1/3 of the world's monuments are located there. Lots of temples, lots of totally different Bedouin environment and culture, and also pharaonic history, and totally different type of tourism is located in those 2 cities. If you'd like to elaborate.
Well, really, maybe like 4,000 years ago, Luxor today has been recognized as ancient Thebes. That it was called by the Greeks. And visitors, they never stopped, visiting Upper Egypt for spiritual, for religious, for pilgrimage reason, as we saw like in Nag Hammadi, like in Sohag, Asyut, Kena, and all the way in Luxor and Aswan. And remember, like all the treasures of ancient Egypt, we are celebrating this year the King Tut centennial, like the passage of 100 years since it was discovered in 1922. And this year as well, we are celebrating the Francois Champollion bicentennial, like his work and energy, efforts to decipher, hieroglyphics. So great Egyptian history is so much associated with Luxor and Aswan because of the volume and the magnitude of, treasure that has been unearthed in these two great cities. So really it is in the memory of everyone that they love to relate, the glory and fame of Egypt to its past. And Aswan is a beautiful, hub that reflects the Nubian culture, attractions and heritage and history, language, right, food and cuisine and music. So really it's a very attractive location as well.
Right, Dr. Yehya Abdul, a tourism expert. We'd like to thank you, sir, very much talking to The Breakfast Show. You have a beautiful day. And by this, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show for now. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again tomorrow, that's a goodbye. You have a beautiful day.